musical innovations. Today, the modern classical music is even much more dissonant, discordant, strident, shrill, sometimes even ear-splitting. Is it that the contemporary classical music is turning to an abstract, mental, neurotic construction, or is it that contemporary classical music is going to a higher frequency of vibration which is difficult to comprehend and to adjust from our planet and our human ears? Thank you so much, Bashar. You are a tremendous inspiration in my life. Goodbye.
The question you are asking, the answer to that is both. There are things that are representative of realities that are splitting off, that are more disharmonious and discordant, and there are realities where higher frequencies are creating more harmony and representative of an upliftment of energy and vibrational states. Now, that doesn't mean that discordant music now and then can't be applied for positive purposes. So it may not completely be eliminated, even from the reality where things are becoming more harmonious and integrated. And it doesn't mean that harmonies can't be utilized even in some of the discordant realities that might be reflective of the notes that you are saying are more strident. So you have to kind of take it on a case-by-case basis, but in the overall sense, yes, you may find that certain realities and individuals that might be experiencing more disharmony and discord within themselves might relate more easily to the idea of the discordant music, but it might be capable of being utilized as a guiding light and a reminder, or a guiding sound if you wish, and a reminder of the discord that may exist within themselves if they choose to use it that way. But the basic and simple answer is both are true. Are you there?
Hi, sorry, Bashar, I am here.
All right, good day, good day.
Good day, attune, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for the interaction. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you for the technique, the meditation you gave at the beginning there.
Well, I haven't given the meditation yet.
Indeed,
I've only told you the components of it. But yes,
of course,
you're welcome.
So one of my questions is, I find it challenging to actually act on my passion, to live my passion.
Which is what?
I find it sometimes challenging to know. Excuse me?
You say to act on your passion, which is what? Can you be specific?
Well, in any given circumstance, and more generally in terms of things like creative pursuits or...
Oh, all right. But it's actually quite nonsensical, and I actually don't believe you can't do it, because you're doing it right now. We assume that you're having this conversation because this particular action contained some degree of excitement for you more than any other option at this moment. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So you can do it, and you are doing it. It's just that you have a definition that makes it seem more difficult than it needs to be. Please do remember, and we'll get to the other stuff in a moment, but please do remember, when we talk about acting on your passion, it doesn't have to be a big project, a life-spanning career. We're talking about every single moment. There is always an option that contains even just the tiniest bit more excitement, attractiveness, curiosity than any other, that you have more capability of acting on than any other. So you may find that sometimes talking to a friend or reading a book or eating a meal or watching a film, any of the typical daily things that contains even just the tiniest bit more attractiveness or excitement is the one to do first. That's what we mean fundamentally by always act on your passion. And if you start on that level, on an everyday level, it can build up. It might snowball into bigger and bigger and bigger opportunities being presented to you that you can also act on, that might also be representative of your passion. But you don't have to make a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be at the beginning. So there doesn't need to be confusion, because it's just about choosing what seems more exciting than anything else and act on it to the best you can until you can act on it no further. That's all it means. Does that help start to clarify the concept?
I appreciate that, and it's something that I've been aware of and I do get into a space where I ask myself, okay, what's the next most exciting thing?
All right. But I assume we're having this conversation because there are times when you choose to get out of that space. Why would that be?
There's times when I don't ask myself that question.
Why not?
I think when I do ask myself that question, sometimes the answer doesn't become apparent. I'm not sure which is the most exciting option. And I feel like I can overthink it perhaps. And
yes, many people on your planet do that, overthink it, overcomplicate it. Remember that if things seem equal in excitement or equal in your ability to act on them, you might as well then just flip a coin. And what I just said to the last person can apply to you. It doesn't then matter if all things appear equal, which one you take first. You might as well flip a coin. A, I'll go this way. B, I'll choose that. Because if that's not your path of least resistance, synchronicity will turn you around to the other path that is. You have to really understand how synchronicity works as a guiding and organizing principle in order to relax and let the flow happen naturally and let the signals and the messages from synchronicity be obvious. But if you overthink it, you're only going to confuse yourself and you're going to blind yourself to what synchronicity is attempting to do to make it clearer as to which way to go and what to act on at any given moment. Is that helping?
That's helpful. Yes, thank you.
Is there a but at the end of that sentence?
Well, I mean, because excitement, as you've spoken about, can be an emotion. Many different emotions can be passion, can be love, can be
yes.
A sense of calmness.
Yes.
So if we have different options which contain the different emotions,
yes,
sometimes for me that can be hard to navigate.
I just explained that. I'll explain it again more clearly if you wish. You don't always, when you find something that seems more exciting than anything else, or things that seem equally exciting in different ways, you don't always have the same ability to act on them. That's another way to tell which one to act on first. But as I just said, if you do discover that 2 things or 3 things seem equally exciting, equally attractive, and you have the ability equally to act on any of them, then it doesn't matter which one you choose first, because if it's not the one that serves you best, synchronicity will create situations that turn you around to the one that is. So what difference does it make if you can't tell the difference, since synchronicity will actually be your compass needle to guide you? So why worry about it?
It was more a case of if something feels sort of nurturing to me, and maybe another option feels more exciting in a different way.
Yes.
Then
what's the difference? As long as you're clear as to why you feel the way you do based on your belief system, because we understand, I'm not saying this is the case with you, but just to explain, you say, well, one feels nurturing and one feels exciting. Either of those are fine, aren't they? Yes, no?
Yeah, that's true.
So what difference does it make? As long as you're clear that the idea you're now describing as nurturing isn't an avoidance. Do you understand? Because sometimes people will create the idea of, oh, well, this feels more nurturing, but what they're really doing is saying, I'm too scared to go the other way, so I'll choose the one that sort of feels safe to me. That's why you have to be very clear about what you believe in order to understand why you feel what you feel in any case, in any situation. So, fine, one choice seems nurturing, which is fine. Another seems more exciting, which is fine. Those can be equal things. But ask yourself, why does this feel nurturing? Why does this feel exciting? And in that investigation, you may find that there's enough of a difference for you to be able to make a choice more clearly. Because you may find that the nurturing is from an avoidance or something else that's a negative belief, and vice versa. So the idea is, when you clear yourself as to why you have the feelings you have, and if it turns out that both truly are from a natural state or expression of your passion, then again, we go back to, it doesn't matter which one you choose first, you might as well flip a coin. Does that help?
Okay. It does. Yeah, it does help. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. We're trying to simplify this for you.
Yeah, because there's basically an option in my life which, although it's not exciting, it provides a level of support which will mean I can then go on to do more exciting things potentially.
All right, but again, be careful, because what you just said sounds like you're saying, well, if I do this, I'll get that. That's not how you act on your excitement. You're making that conditional now in the way you just phrased it. Oh, I'll do this because it's going to get me somewhere else. That's not the reason to act on your excitement, and therefore that may be your first clue that that may not be the most exciting thing, because all you're talking about it is as a means to an end, and not the thing in and of itself that's exciting. Remember, excitement has to be acted on for its own sake purely, because that thing is exciting to you. So in other words, you have to be excited about feeling nurtured, not just use the idea of being in a nurtured space to get you somewhere else more exciting. You're making conditions there.
Yeah.
And you're invalidating the nurturing as nothing more than a means to an end and not a thing unto itself that you're actually excited about. Does that help clarify the choice?
Yeah, that helps me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, would you please be willing to describe your solar system?
Well, yes. You can find that to some degree also in the documentary that was done. But the idea is that we have a star like you do, which is called Shaw. And we are, like you, the third planet from the star. There is a small planet closer, another planet second. We are Sassani, which is third. We are about 111 million of your miles from our star. Our year is longer than yours because our orbit is wider. Our day is about the same length, what you would call 24 hours, but our year is 454 days. Then there is a fourth planet, but then we have a large planet called Vamar, which is not in the ecliptic. In other words, its orbit goes like this, up and down, through the plane of our solar system. And then we have what might be referred to as a double planet, Chachupani. That has two planets that are gravitationally locked, orbiting each other, and in orbiting each other, they also go in an orbit around the star, dancing with each other, which is what Chachupani means, the dancers. That's a brief description of our solar system. But remember, we're in a parallel reality. You can't see our star from your reality. You would have to make a shift to our vibrational reality in order to see our solar system, in the same way that we have to shift to your vibrational reality in order to perceive your solar system physically. Does that help?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Bashar, and much love to you guys.
And you as well. Good day.
Good day.